So, just now this morning, I distributed 40 copies of a 4-page letter. I guess you would call it a to whom it may concern, because I was concerned. I have my life threatened by a neighbor. You know, it's you really can't get a restraining order against somebody you're not in a relationship with, I was told. I was told that 4 years ago in a different state, after I had a neighbor begin to do things to dismantle my entire life just because I am a gay man. I also have HIV. Probably 10, 50, 100, 200 people within my zip code are very aware of that fact because I have a large family and everybody has a big mouth. My one sister said to me last night, well, guess what? All of our big mouths aren't a bad thing, so don't get it twisted. I didn't want to read the letter online initially, but now I'll just read it and put it on Facebook. That way I can actually merge the fact that I distributed physically a letter, mostly to houses that had a mail slot, so some dirtbag couldn't go fish it out of the mailbox after me. One guy opened his door, he goes, oh, I got your first letter. He goes, I gave it to like 100 people. I said, oh yeah, you said hello to me in Target. He goes, yes, I did. My wife did as well. 2 gay guys on Sigel Street. The biggest joke in Philadelphia, only it is not funny. Hello, neighbor. Good morning. Today is August 9th, 2020. My name is Michael Sean Foster. I live with my partner, Nathan Scott Hamilton, at 120 Sigel Street in Pennsport. Yes, a gay male couple off Mummers Row. We are together for 12 years. Arriving here from Manhattan nearly 2 years ago, I know what you must be already thinking. A gay couple in Pennsport off 2 Street, Mummers Row, question mark, question mark, question mark. And I'm sorry if I offend or, you know, I don't mean to offend anyone, but this is what I'm being shown and what I'm led to assume. I know what you must already be thinking. A gay couple in Pennsport off 2 Street, Mummers Row. When we viewed the house, we were told this was the only real gay-friendly neighborhood in Philly, aside from the Gayborhood in Center City. As it turns out, nothing could be further from the truth. 6 days after we moved in, we accidentally received a strange email from the broker who rented us the house calling us fags, assholes, and morons. I'm sorry to have to even draw attention to us being a gay male couple, but that is correct. That is what we are. We are apparently the, quote, only ones on the block, as a creep around the corner put it, or for a, quote, half dozen blocks, unquote. This statement in particular left me kind of paralyzed. He joked about us along with a neighbor having zero support system. One lady said, well, you have no allies. That's what's so great about all this. She's a crumb. The guy who mentioned the zero support system is a belligerent alcoholic and always has a can of beer in his hand, or a cigarette. In 2 years, there have been exactly 19 I've actually counted. One was on a bus and I put her on blast on social media. There have been exactly 19 mean-spirited comments to my face. Like, you faggots. Like, fuck you faggots. One guy calls me the Walking Dead every time I walk by. For 2 years. I probably heard this from him like 190 times. The same guy even blurted out to me that the, quote, cops and the mob were about to change hands and I was going to get my house painted. Please see a full-size 8x10 photo of my partner and I and say hello when you see us. We are friendly, outgoing, and certainly never wanted to be in a position to feel the need to have to repeat a comment directed at us, which was mean-spirited, homophobic, and evil in nature. I had told the authorities, but quite frankly, after being the victim of NYPD police brutality in Manhattan on January 8th, 2018. See video on YouTube. Just enter in YouTube search Michael Sean foster NYPD police brutality. I don't exactly want to, like many black men and other minorities, or expect them to come to my rescue. I don't exactly want to... How do I say this? I don't want to go to them for help after what happened. That's a horrible feeling. A lot of the cops have been really nice. A lot. I never wanted to talk about this, but I posted the video. Fuck it. I'm gonna read, but I don't want to cry in front of people because most people around here will just laugh. Probably. Like many other minorities and black men, I don't expect the police to come to my rescue. They have bigger matters on their hands, and in a city like Philadelphia, hatred isn't exactly scarce, so I don't expect anybody to hold my hand, you know? A few kind police officers wave and say hello, but don't they hate gays? Question mark. You know, something I asked this last Christmas directly to a police officer in Five Below in Columbus Commons. He said hello, and I said, and I quote, "Don't you guys hate gays?" He replied, "No, not all of us." I was somewhat relieved to hear this. Let me say this, I support the police and law enforcement, and I even believe defunding the police is a horrible idea because without the cops, no one would be able to go outside. However, after my one and only experience being arrested and potentially then slandered, although I am not sure, although this has been the theme of neighbors here on the block who have seen the video on my social media. And can you imagine feeling the need to write this letter and distribute it to neighbors to draw some attention to a campaign of harassment and hatred against me and my husband? As for the incident in New York, I was never verbally arrested, never Mirandized, and upon opening my apartment door, the two officers request that I step out into the hallway. I was instantly beaten to the point of life-threatening injuries and even yelled, "I can't breathe," more than a half dozen times. After 24 hours in the emergency room for broken ribs, bruises, and lacerations all over my body, I learned that I was being, or had almost been, arrested for allegedly spray painting a hallway door while in a building which was partially demolished. 7 out of 20 units were under construction at the time. We were in a long court battle 2 years with our then landlord and requested via the housing courts in New York to be moved into a new apartment. Like 2 other tenants that they had already relocated, the construction sickened us both, and my partner nearly died of sepsis after his blood became poisoned, breathing construction dust and thickened to a porridge, which made him so ill he spent 3 days in the ER. Christmas of 2017. We moved 100 miles across 3 states only to find, and no one is going to paint me as paranoid for this comment, our problems with bigotry and harassment not only did we not leave behind, possibly followed us all the way to Philadelphia. Here is a link to a 24-minute video of the incident. See social media for links. Having a couple cops laugh in my face when I tried reporting some of the things happening to me and my partner when we first moved into our house at 120 Sigel Street left me uneasy, but officers since have said hello and been kind, nice, courteous, and respectful, one of whom even returned my husband's wallet 2 weeks ago, after it had been either dropped on the street or I was led to believe pickpocketed during an event which probably originated on my block. Because when I walk out the door, this one lady sends a text message, and then it goes to one guy who's on the corner, and then like by the time I get to like ShopRite, I've got like 5 bigots up in my business. You know, what am I doing? We're all under lockdown for coronavirus. I get up in the morning early. I drink my 3 cups of coffee. I start thinking about what am I gonna have for breakfast. I have breakfast. I turn on the TV. I try not to watch the news because it's so bad. I don't think anybody wants to watch the news. I get my 30 minutes of news. I typically go to the Acme 2 blocks away and I pick up one of those Metro papers and I read that. Because when you read the newspaper, you can actually decide what you wish to get as news and what you don't wish to receive into your body and spirit and well-being. You know, I'm not on any substances. I'm not crazy. I'm not a weirdo. I'm just somebody who's had an erroneous amount of bullshit in my life. Do I have to keep reading this? Because 50 people just got a copy. Now my printer's out of ink. Congratulate me. There you go. People can't be this bad. 2 guys were out in the corner, they just waved to me. Do I seem paranoid? Do I seem crazy? Do I seem like I'm a danger to society and other people? Because that's what I'm afraid of. Because people can say anything about you, they can conspire anything. You know, I had an addiction which I overcame. And with no help. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed about that. Why should I be? Somebody put online, anyone who calls someone a junkie is trash. That's true. I hate that word. I made a disparaging comment about, quote, junkies, unquote. And one neighbor said to me, 3 people in my family died on drugs, honey. She goes, you had an addiction. Everybody knows it. You talked about it online, that you were sober. Everybody knows that. I said, I'm sorry I said that. I said, I feel like you're saying that to me as part of a stunt. She went, I'm actually not. I'm actually not. Her brother, her mother, and her boyfriend all died. She wasn't bullshitting me. She said people laughed at them too. I said, well, I wasn't laughing. She goes, I know. And then she said, and I know what you're going through. I guess if there were a plot to murder me, somebody would have kicked in the door and shot me. Wow, I can't believe I just said that out loud. Even my mother and my husband and my mother-in-law, they all just say, that's really what you think? That's not what I think, but when you experience so much just bigotry and adversity and mean-spirited indifference and not lack of kindness, because, you know, no one's going to hold your fucking hand. This is Philadelphia. Lack of humanity. It's like, okay, really? This is what we're working with? And, you know, there's all these organizations that are in place to help you, but when one neighbor sends out a text message to 5 creeps the second you leave your door, by the time you get to that organization, they've already heard something about you not true. Or I'm just making an assumption. Actually, no, fuck it. I know how all this works. Organized stalking and harassment. full-time life destruction. I had a police officer who told me move to a better neighborhood. I said, that is a good neighborhood. She said it is and it isn't. It's very homophobic. I said, wow, you were honest. She said, I'm African American and I am a cop. And I live in Gray's Ferry. I said, yeah, I heard all about their problems. She went, there are so many people in this city that move into one neighborhood and have to leave it because of who they are. She went, there's gay guys that moved to Point Breeze. I've heard of 3 instances who had to leave. They left. A gay couple, one of whom I knew, actually moved 1 block from here. And they left within 1 month. He avoids me like the plague. I finally ran into him and said, what's going on? He goes, oh my God, you gotta get away from there. I said, well, I can't afford to move. I said, what's gonna happen? He goes, everywhere you go, they're gonna like... I said, they're gonna do what? I almost called him the P word. And then I went through this in New York too. It was somewhat worse there. It was worse there. It was worse there. And my husband keeps reminding me people have been nicer here. They actually have. Because there's no gay community in Philadelphia. At all. There's no gay community everywhere. Anywhere. It's been dismantled. I guess people don't have as much courage as they need to. It's not really courage, it's just, well, yeah, I guess it's courage. I mean, what am I supposed to do? What am I gonna do? Go to ACT UP Philadelphia? Oh, I'm being harassed. Please, someone help me. Okay. There, I just helped myself.